The Yeah Yeah Yeahs are an indie slash punk band from New York. There are three of them, presumably one for each of the Yeahs in the name. Karen O, Nick Zinner and Brian Chase. They've been active since the year 2000, with a hiatus in the middle of some of that, and they have created 5 albums so far. Hi, my name's Dan. So this was their second album, and it's kind of okay. So I have realised that I often have this particular problem, so that I feel like the hardest albums for me to review are the ones that are kind of in the 60s, pushing up towards a 7 maybe, but not quite good enough. So in my mind, I've got a bit of a benchmark, which is that if it's 7 or above, that means it's something that I might seek out again to listen. And when it's just kind of, decent enough, but not made that much of an impact, it's usually kind of 6. If it's leaving me cold, it's somewhere around 5. Okay. As I said, I find often that this is the region where I find them hardest to review, because I'm not really sure what to say about them if they haven't had a big impact on me. Normally I listen twice, so on this occasion I actually listened for a third time, and I gave it a little bit more attention than I had the first 2 times, which was a good thing, because I think I understand the album better now, and I got a bit more out of it. Let's do some description. So it's kind of guitar-led rock with vocals by Karen O. She's got a reasonable punk voice. It's quite a high voice, I think. And quite often it's processed so that it sounds like it's being sung through a megaphone. The drumming, I particularly enjoyed. There's a nice clarity to the drumming, and it's competent musically, which is always a good thing, and not necessarily a given in some of these areas of music. There are punk elements, as I said. Maybe it's kind of tending towards the indie. I'd say there's some kind of life and interest to it, so it's not just a big thrash. Sometimes there's some very odd synth sounds. There's some nice textures. Some of the tracks have quite nice grooves going on. My favourite for that is a track called Phenomena. There are a couple of tracks near the end which have more of a live feel to them. The Sweets and Warrior, and they're more kind of interactive in the sense that they're playing off each other. And there's tempo changes, and there's a big silent dynamic range, and it sounds as if they've just reproduced how they do it live, and it sounds good as a result. I think I enjoy it. It's less polished, but has more life to it in that sense. Some of the bits in some of the songs feel a bit laboured, particularly with the singing. It feels like maybe it's going too slow, and the singing's just Karen's just having to hold herself back a bit. I think Dudley was one that I felt particularly I wasn't that impressed by it, because it just felt a bit overdone in some way. So in general, overall, I wasn't that bothered by it, but after the third listen, I did get more out of it. I would say about a third of the album was such that it pulls it over this line of the 7.0. I'm just pulling it slightly better than that. So there are some tracks that I would be interested in coming back and listening to again. That's my opinion. What's yours? Let me know in the comments down below. That's it from me for now.